Hey there, my name is Rohit Kumar, and today we are going to discuss some of the concepts, means some of the research topics and the domains related to natural language processing. So, natural language processing, in short, it is known as NLP. And first thing that comes to mind is what is NLP? So, let me tell you, NLP is a subfield of linguistic, computer science, and artificial intelligence, as per Wikipedia information. Now, coming to the point that why it is part of AI. So, natural language processing, the language is natural, but we are processing it artificially. That's why it is part of AI. Now, coming to the computer science, because there are different algorithms which are making it possible to analyze the content of your language, means which is a natural language. It might be anything: English, Hindi, Japanese, Punjabi, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, etc. Okay. Now, coming to the linguistic concept, so it is very obvious because it's a language, so it will have some sort of grammar, some sort of syntax, etc. And that's why the linguistic, computer science, and AI, all three major domains become part of it, or we should say that it becomes part of these three major domains. So at the intersection of these 3 points, we can say that natural language processing stands. Now, coming to the different sorts of interaction of computer and human. So naturally, whenever we are dealing with some sort of machines or computers, we are supposed to put our language in a specific way. For example, you need to understand some sort of programming language or something like that. But it is a very tedious task. You need to understand the new language syntax and the semantics. But suppose if you can comfortably talk to your computer in your own language, in your own natural language, then isn't it wonderful? Yes. So that's why the concept of NLP, natural language processing, comes into picture. Additionally, for example, not only for talking to your system or machine, suppose if there is a situation that you don't know anything, and you want to interact with a person who doesn't know your language and you doesn't know his or her language. In this way, there is a communication barrier. So NLP makes it possible to make it happen that both the parties who don't know the language of each other, they can communicate efficiently. Okay, now coming to that, what are the related challenges? So there are multiple challenges in NLP, including such as the speech recognition. You need to first understand the frequency, wavelength, etc. of the speaking person. Then you need to have some sort of natural understanding of the language. And finally, you need to generate the kind of proper syntax of that particular language so that the other person could easily understand, or the other side terminal of the receiving party could easily translate your kind of generated text or the content. So in this way, I think you must have got by now that what is the basic definition and why do we use the this particular technology called natural language processing. Now coming to some of the things that what is the scope of research. So let me tell you that more than 100 plus countries authors have been consistently doing their research in the field of natural language processing. And coming to the some of the most researched domains or the topics related to this particular technology. So first thing is the named entity recognition. It means where you need to recognize the entities, and means you have given the name to some sort of entities and then you need to recognize according to that particular name. Then the sentiment analysis, because the facial recognitions, etc. There are so many things. Means if you don't know the language of each other, but you can have some sort of idea what the other person is trying to say by his gestures. So the gesture analysis, sentiment analysis, and the concept of chatbot come into pictures, because the chatbot is the thing which helps you to interact with a particular machine or a website. Okay, then word embedding, text mining, information extraction, parts of speech, text corpus, then long-term short memory, embedding of a particular content into a particular context, then the part of speech tagging, natural language processing models, information retrieval, the use of AI obviously comes into picture. So there are so many different things that then you can relate or do research into, and then you can try whether you are going in the right direction or not. Now coming to the funding, so there are so many different funding bodies which are actively involved in this domain of research, which is natural language processing. Some of them include the National Science Foundation, National Library of Medicine, National Cancer Institute, European Commission, and Engineering and Physics Science Research Council, National Institute of Aging, National Institute of General Medicine Sciences, National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, National Institute of deafness and other communication disorders. Because for the sort of especially able people means who have some sort of difficulty in hearing or sort of thing, then this NLP is going to be a kind of wonderful change for them. Because if they can't hear properly, then by some sort of visual means you can show them. But before showing the actual content or something, you need to first do the NLP, because what the other person is saying, accordingly you have to display some sort of things. Okay, so you can understand what I am trying to say. Additionally, the publications and the research activities have been consistently on boom in this particular field, because in recent years it has been totally grasped by the different viewers and the authors, and people are exploring it like anything. So that's why no need to have a doubt that whether it's useful or not, it is definitely going to change the world of communication. Okay, so coming to some of the research journals, because always you need to find that what are the related journals when we are going in the field of NLP. So there are multiple journals, not only these, but some of them which are available at my side data. So I want to tell you. So one is the ACM transaction on Asian and low resource language information processing, then Journal of American Medicine Information Society, proceedings of AAAI conference on AI, then Journal of Biomedical Informatics, Computational Linguistics, JMI Medical Informatics, transactions on the Association for Computational Linguistics, etc. Okay. Additionally, there are so many dedicated speech processing or the signal processing related signals are available in elsewhere, IEEE, Springer, Wiley, etc. Okay, so you can go and have a check. Some of the related top publishers include Elsevier, Springer, MDPI, the Association for Computing Machinery means ACM, IOP Publishing, Oxford, Taylor and Francis, iOS Press, Association for the Advancement of AI, etc. Okay, so these are the additionally, if you want to have some of the top authors related or the recently working authors information, you can go to Google Scholar and explore for the related information. Now coming to the most important thing, that if you want to do research, then which sort of institutes you should look to. Okay, so you should look up to some of the international institutes like the Columbia University, the University of Texas System, University of California System, French National Center for Scientific Research, IBM means the industry collaboration for if you want to see, then IBM is doing wonderful job. Then the University of Texas Health Science Center at Houston, Harvard University, Chinese Academy of Sciences, Stanford University, University of Ottawa, etc. Okay, in India also, so many IITs and NITs have been consistently exploring this particular domain, so you can go locally also. Okay, now coming to some of the related articles, because there are so many articles. So what are the recently published articles? So let me tell you some of the names. Some of them are the natural language processing, introduction, making sense of contextual data. So with respect to data, they have discussed a kind of survey in this work. Then the design and verification of process discovery based on NLP approach and visualization of manufacturing industry. Okay, then what you see is what it means. Semantic representation learning of code based on visualization and transfer learning, a machine learning approach for raising WASH awareness in the time of COVID-19 pandemic. Then another work is a modified Markov based maximum entropy model for POS tagging of ODI text. So you can see that the text, speech, manufacturing plants based data, etc. So much understanding of it, and then you need to convert it into a suitable medium so that the other party could easily understand it. So there are so many related aspects. You can work into any of the specific subdomain or related aspect, and then you can find whether it's according to your interest or not. Okay, so I wish you all the best for starting your research in the field of NLP. And if you think that we didn't discuss any of the related thing, please let me know. In my next video, I will definitely try to improve my research with it. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks a lot. Happy learning.